Your Excellency, President Əliyev, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to be representing the organizing committee of Bakü Energy Week today, all the more so because we have not been able to hold it the last 2 years on account of the coronavirus epidemic. This has highlighted to us the importance of face-to-face meetings and the importance of being able to meet international and regional industry leaders in an informal environment. Azerbaijan has been very vigilant in its fight against coronavirus, and as a result of that, today it stands one of the leading countries in terms of its vaccination of the population, and that's why we're able to hold this event today. Taking into account current trends in the energy industry, the event Bakü Energy Week incorporates 3 separate projects. It's the 27th annual edition of the Caspian Oil and Gas Exhibition. It's the 10th annual edition of the Power and Renewable Energy Exhibition. And of course, tomorrow we have Bakü Energy Forum, which was formerly known as the Caspian Oil and Gas Conference. Obviously, all of these events will continue with their traditions. Bakü is an increasingly important event center for the region. It not only hosts this important industry event, which is the largest in the region, but also such internationally known events as Formula One, which is coming next week. And today, we're delighted to welcome on the exhibition floor 249 companies coming from 30 different countries. And of course, I would like to extend, on behalf of the organizing committee, our deepest gratitude to the Ministry of Energy of the Republic of Azerbaijan and to the State Oil Company of the Azerbaijan Republic for their continued and committed support to this event. Your Excellency, I would like to also extend our deepest gratitude to you for your continued support of our exhibitions in Bakü and also for your continuing tradition of attending the opening of this important industry event. It highlights for everyone both the importance of this industry to the region and also the importance of this event within it. And I would now like to invite Your Excellency to address the audience. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to express gratitude to the organizers for restart of Caspian Oil and Gas Show after 2 years break due to the pandemic. And I'm glad that today we have our guests from all over the world, and I hope that discussions during the Oil and Gas Show and Bakü Energy Week will strengthen dialogue on such an important issues as energy security and diversification of energy resources. Azerbaijan invested in its own energy security during the years of independence and provided fully demands for domestic market, and also is playing more and more important role for energy security of growing number of countries. This was not the case in the early years of our independence, and I'd like also to mention that Caspian Oil and Gas exhibition and conference, which already is taking place for 27th time, played a very important role in attracting attention of global energy players to Azerbaijan, the country at that time newly independent, with a lot of difficulties, with big part of its territory under occupation, and facing a lot of challenges. Therefore, the role of organizers of Caspian Oil and Gas Show really was very important in order to attract attention and also to attract investments. And from the very first year of holding this conference, Azerbaijan announced its openness for the world. We announced that we want to see Caspian Sea as an area of cooperation and investment. And the first international investments to the Caspian oil and gas fields was done by us and our partners. But at that time, as I said, energy security was not fully provided. There have been shortages of electricity, of gas supply, blackouts. So we really started to work hard in order to provide our own energy security, and that was done. At the same time, in parallel, we were actively working with international investors, leading energy companies of the world, in order to increase production of oil and deliver it to international markets. And in the end of last century, I think the remarkable event took place. First oil pipeline from Azerbaijan to Georgian Black Sea coast, Supsa, was inaugurated. And that allowed us to start export and to start supplying the needs of many more countries. At the same time, we jointly with our partners worked on gas exploration fields, particularly Chardonnay, which is one of the biggest gas fields in the world. And in 2007, Baku-Tbilisi-Erzurum gas pipeline was inaugurated, and that was the first time when Azerbaijani gas started to be exported to the regional markets of Turkey and Georgia. A year before that, in 2006, we managed to construct, at that time it was considered, and still I think is a remarkable event, Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil pipeline, which connected Caspian Sea with Mediterranean Sea, and was a new route and a new source of oil to international market. And since that time, Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan and all other energy transportation infrastructure of Azerbaijan is working without any disruption. And this, of course, is demonstration of predictability, reliability, and also demonstrates that we're capable to implement such a huge infrastructure project, difficult from technical, financial point of view, and also these projects were implemented in a very complicated political environment. So that was actually the important milestone in the issues related to regional energy security, and of course it strengthened the regional cooperation between Azerbaijan and its neighbors, Turkey and Georgia. But our plans were bigger than that, and of course we wanted to be able to develop huge gas reserves of Azerbaijan. For that, of course, we needed a new pipeline. The pipeline, I would say, of the 21st century, Southern Gas Corridor. And Southern Gas Corridor's successful completion the last day of 2020 demonstrates our common will, demonstrates that we can work as a team and we can achieve great success. So integrated pipelines, a system of 3.5 thousand kilometers, crossing many countries, going on the seabed and climbing to high mountains is a demonstration of our potential and our friendship. Therefore, the energy projects which were initiated by Azerbaijan and at early stage created a framework for regional cooperation, now transformed into a global energy project. Southern Gas Corridor is a project which we can be proud of, and at the same time it allows us to increase production from huge Chardonnay gas condensate field, and it happens. And it's only 1 year and 5 months that Azerbaijan is using this brand new modern infrastructure to transport its gas reserves, but already the expansion of our presence on European continent with our natural resources is something which is needed for us and for our partners. We managed to increase the production and our export. Last year, Azerbaijan exported 22 billion cubic meters of natural gas. This year, the projection is 24, and the next year it will be even more. There can be different figures depending on the activity of production and also on activation of other fields which are situated in Azerbaijani sector of the Caspian Sea, because our gas potential is not limited only with Shah Deniz. Other fields also are very promising. Some of them will start production next year. So that will be important contribution to energy security, especially now when the demand for Azerbaijani hydrocarbons is more than ever before. And we, as a responsible country, take that into account, and we try to support countries which, due to different reasons, face difficulties. And now corresponding structures of Azerbaijan are in permanent contact with growing number of countries. When we were working on the implementation of Southern Gas Corridor, we established a very close cooperation with countries through the territory of which the pipeline crosses, and also international financial institutions, and of course energy companies and governments of leading countries, and also European Commission. So annual meeting of the Southern Gas Corridor Advisory Council, which takes place every February in Baku, is a clear example of this teamwork. And when this February 4th, we had the annual meeting of Southern Gas Corridor Advisory Council, we actually thought that biggest part of our plans have already been implemented. Southern Gas Corridor already in operation. Now we need only to work how to build new bridges, how to build new connections, interconnectors, and how to expand our presence on European gas market. But of course now, when we speak on the 1st of June, situation is completely different, and the demand for Azerbaijani gas grows rapidly. And of course we need to take that into account, but at the same time, our potential consumers should also understand that it is not possible to extract large volumes of gas within 1 year. For that, we need contracts. We need to start and to speed up negotiations. We need, of course, to work with our traditional partners, investors, energy companies, in order to increase the production. And also, we need to expand the existing facilities. That was something which we did not plan in the coming years, because Southern Gas Corridor, as I said, is integrated pipeline system consisting of 3 pipelines. And the last segment of it, Trans-Adriatic pipelines capacity is 10 billion cubic meters. So now we think about expansion. So because there is a demand for that. And that, of course, will take time, take a lot of financial resources, and also close coordination, cooperation, and active dialogue with all countries involved. And we are ready for that. Minister of Energy of Azerbaijan and SOCAR already got all my instructions, and they're in the process of active negotiations. And by the way, Baku Energy Week will be excellent opportunity, because we have guests, high-ranking officials from many countries, to address these important issues. At the same time, of course, we need to continue our active dialogue with members of Southern Gas Corridor team, including governments. Of course, I'd like to express gratitude to the governments of Turkey, Georgia, Bulgaria, Greece, Albania, Italy, countries, participants of the Southern Gas Corridor for their active cooperation. And taking into account that there are now new challenges and new demands, of course, we are already in negotiations with other potential consumers. But for that, of course, only our efforts will not be sufficient. There must be investments in infrastructure in Europe, building new interconnectors, and of course agreeing on the terms, because as we all know, in gas business, you first sell the gas, sign the contract, and then start to invest and extract. But all what I say is just to give, how to say, outlook from our point of view, but at the same time, we will do everything what we can to speed up the process, and it already started. I'd like to express also gratitude to the governments of the United States and United Kingdom, our great supporters throughout all the time of our energy policy and performance. And with a great support, we managed to achieve these results. I'd like also to express gratitude to international financial institutions, World Bank, EBRD, Asian Development Bank, EIB, Asian Infrastructure and Investment Banks, all those banks which financed Southern Gas Corridor, and I hope will also provide financial support to implementation of our new plans, particularly expansion of TAP. And also, we can also think about expansion of TANAP, because, as I said already, the demand for Azerbaijani gas is growing, the potential is here, political will is here, therefore we should not waste time. We should bring our capacity of our infrastructure to the potential level of transportation of natural gas. Therefore, not only TAP will need expansion, rapid expansion, but also South Caucasus Pipeline and TANAP. So we are working on that. Also, I'd like to mention that fruitful cooperation between Azerbaijan and European Commission also played a very important role in implementation of Southern Gas Corridor project, and will play an important role in implementation of our future plans. We are in permanent contact with the European Commission on that. And as a result of discussions which took place in the beginning of February this year in Baku between Energy Commissioner of EU and our Minister of Energy, we established a dialogue, energy dialogue between EU and Azerbaijan. Agenda is very broad, of course traditional, issues like oil, gas, at the same time electricity, renewables, hydrogen, and energy efficiency. So I think that this broad range of issues and the active cooperation on these issues will allow us to have more gas for export, because our next plan on our agenda, which already in the process of implementation, is renewables. And Azerbaijan, I think, demonstrates excellent performance. First, because we already proved ourselves as a reliable country, as a country which respects its obligations. I'd like to say that since 1994, when the first contract, PSA contract, was signed with foreign companies, until today, not a single word was changed in the contracts. And that also demonstration of our position, we respect our obligations and also want our partners to respect their obligations. Therefore, credibility was an important factor. Second, of course, stability, political and economic stability in Azerbaijan. And of course, excellent performance, building the infrastructure for oil, for gas, for electric lines. By the way, Azerbaijan is exporting not only oil and gas, but also electricity. Huge potential, experience. All these factors played an important role in attracting major energy companies to invest in renewables. And this year, already, we had 2 groundbreaking ceremonies with leading energy companies, Aqua Power and Masdar. And now the construction of 2, 1 wind and 1 solar power plants, total capacity of 470 megawatts, is already underway. And next year, these 2 power plants will be commissioned. And this is only the beginning, because we already are in active phase of negotiations with many leading energy companies on renewables. We have huge potential in the Caspian Sea, which has been already evaluated. And according to information which I was given, the capacity and potential of Azerbaijani sector of the Caspian Sea is 150,000 megawatts. So this is a huge volume. At the same time, a great potential is now on the territories which have been liberated as a result of the Second Karabakh War, particularly in Kalbajar and Lachin and other areas. And we estimate this potential around 9,000 to 10,000 megawatts, only wind and sun. But if we add hydro, which is also great potential, that can be another probably 1,000 megawatt or more. And all that now is seriously addressed by our government. And the more we have international investments on renewables, the more natural gas we will save for export. This is natural. So combination of all these factors, and of course, including the energy efficiency and reduction of losses in our transportation system, all that will add to increase of gas exports from Azerbaijan. And this is our target, and I'm sure we'll achieve this goal, because so far, everything what we planned, not only in oil and gas business, everything what our government planned, we achieved, and achieved with maximum degree of efficiency. So now, traditional Caspian oil and gas exhibition and conference, and now Baku Energy Week, of course, will address all these important issues. Oil supplies, how to increase oil supplies, because now Azerbaijan also is providing important transit facilities for other countries, and this potential also can be used to maximum degree. Unfortunately, it was not used to the maximum degree. Unfortunately, the potential of Azerbaijan as an important transit country was underestimated by potential suppliers. But I think now they changed their mind, because everybody understands that diversification is one of the important factors of energy security. And we worked on diversification from the very first day of our energy strategy. Therefore, we have diversified export routes, free oil pipelines to different directions, 4 gas pipelines to different directions, electric lines, and we export electricity to 4 neighboring countries, and plan to export electricity to Europe. And for that, we want also to activate the Zengezur corridor, which could be important transportation route, not only for cargos, but also for electricity. We are working on that and already started practical investment. So diversification for all is important. Therefore, I think now those who underestimated the potential of Azerbaijan as a reliable transitor now will change their mind. And we see initial hints of that, and we're ready. We are ready to help everyone who needs help. We are ready because we have political will. Our policy always is aimed at building bridges, strengthening cooperation, and plus we have infrastructure. We have brand new seaport. We have railroads connecting us with all destinations, highways, number of international airports after we complete 3 international airports construction. 1 already has been completed. In the liberated territories will be 9. So, and geographical location. So transit potential of Azerbaijan also should be taken into account while we are planning our future plans with respect to oil and gas cooperation. And of course, what I'm saying is, of course, important for our international partners. I'd like also to underline the importance of strategic partnership between SOCAR and BP. BP is our strategic partner and leading investor in oil and gas, and I'm very glad that BP also shows interest in renewables. And now SOCAR and BP are discussing the construction of a solar power station in liberated Jabrail district. The capacity will be more than 200 megawatts. I hope soon we will have good results. And also the future plans, because future plans, which I said, will not be possible to implement without cooperation with our traditional energy partners. And of course, we are ready to cooperate with every company, with every country, which also wants to be with us on this important time when geopolitical situation in the world is completely different from what it was several months ago. But at the same time, all that what I'm saying now is important also for our internal development. And energy factor, energy diplomacy and projects, they strengthen our economic potential. They allow us to rechannel the funds which we accumulate from oil and gas sales to a non-energy sector of our economy, in parallel with very, I would say, brave economic reforms. And we see the results. I can just give several figures of this year. Our GDP this year grew 7.2%, and in non-oil sector more than 11%, non-oil industry more than 15%. So these are all the reflection of reforms and also rechanneling the funds which we accumulated. In other words, diversification not only for energy supplies, but diversification for our economy. And we are achieving that. And today, business climate in Azerbaijan, I think, is absolutely a good example of how it should be. And today, Azerbaijan is one of the countries which is very attractive for foreign investments. Because, as I said before, first, we have great experience in oil and gas. We value our partnership with traditional companies. We never violated any word in the contract which we signed. We enjoy rapid development, and of course, reconstruction in Karabakh and Zengezur will add economic potential. And of course, a very low foreign debt, which is only 12.5% of GDP, also creates good economic environment. We can attract more loans. We just don't do it because we don't need it. We want to reduce foreign debt to GDP down to 10%. That was my instructions to our government. But in the meantime, when we see, or if we see, that there are projects of global importance and the projects are important for Azerbaijan, of course, we will ask our traditional partners, leading financial institutions, to help us. We have already great experience in Southern Gas Corridor and other projects. And we missed this great event, which, as already was said, is the leading international energy event in the region. And I would like once again to express gratitude to our guests for being with us and wish Baku Energy Week success. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'd like to introduce Ms. Laura Lockman, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Energy Diplomacy, to address the audience.
Good morning, and thank you very much. President Əliyev, ministers, and guests, it's an honor to be here today, and I'm delighted to join you for the 27th Annual Baku Energy Week. We recently celebrated 30 years of diplomatic relations between the United States and the Republic of Azerbaijan. Our countries have long enjoyed a close partnership, and there is no greater supporter of independence and democracy in the South Caucasus than the United States. Azerbaijan has been a strong partner in advancing energy security across the region. The United States looks forward to continued work with Azerbaijan on strategies to develop reliable energy sources that also support our critical climate goals. I would like now to offer a few words from President Biden. Dear Mr. President, during the 30 years of diplomatic relations we have enjoyed between the United States and the Republic of Azerbaijan, we have become strong partners in combating transnational threats, advancing energy security, and encouraging bilateral trade and investment. As you host the International Caspian Oil and Gas Exhibition in Baku, I want to assure you that Azerbaijan continues to have a committed partner in the United States. Around the world, we find ourselves at an important juncture in ensuring our energy security, while making the necessary investments and changes to meet our longer-term commitments to the clean energy transition. Diversification is more important than ever in addressing our energy security goals, and Azerbaijan has played a central role in regional efforts toward this goal. Azerbaijan is also critical to realizing the immense potential of Trans-Caspian cooperation to help stabilize markets in the region and globally. And Azerbaijan is playing a critical role in helping stabilize European energy security, including through the Southern Gas Corridor and by providing crucial fuel supplies to Ukraine. I welcome your continued steps to help achieve Azerbaijan's full potential, including by promoting a diversified economy, contributing to global goals to fight climate change through investment in renewables, strengthening the rule of law and accountability, and boosting the standard of living of the Azerbaijani people. The United States is committed to our continued partnership and cooperation. Sincerely, Joseph R. Biden, Jr. Thank you very much.
And I'd like to introduce now Ms. Cristina Lobio Barrero, who's the Director for Energy Policy, Strategy and Coordination in the European Commission.
Good morning, Your Excellency, President Aliyev, ministers, distinguished guests. I want to start by express my deepest gratitude to you on behalf also of Commissioner Kadri Simpson, Commissioner for Energy, for inviting us to participate in this Baku forum. This Baku Energy Week takes place at topical time for the global energy contest and also for our bilateral energy relations. It could have not been more timely. Our energy markets are going through several challenges: the COVID pandemic, but also the steep surge in energy prices, the geopolitical tensions, and the imperative to decarbonize our economies and turn as much as possible the crisis into opportunities. The Southern Gas Corridor has been essential for the European Union, and the role that Azerbaijan plays with us is key in our effort to diversify our supplies of gas in the European Union. This has been essential to energy price stability and also to ensure security of supply, and we very much value that. Our energy relation with Azerbaijan built on a long-standing positive track record of energy dialogue dating back to the establishment of our bilateral EU-Azerbaijan Memorandum of Understanding of a strategic partnership in the field of energy in 2006, signed by Your Excellency President Aliyev and then President Barroso and Bananen. Our policy dialogue at political, management and technical level are a testament of the depth of our energy policy engagement. Commissioner Kadri Simpson attended the Southern Gas Corridor Advisory Council the last February, and we have continued discussion in the context of high-level dialogue where we discuss gas, but also renewables, electricity, energy efficiency, and hydrogen. At the current juncture, we both face a common energy transition and climate challenges, while also featuring strong bilateral energy synergies and also complementarities. In the context of tension at geopolitical level and energy-driven tensions, we would like to strengthen the European Union's strong interest on continuing our contribution to diversification and security of supply, in particular on energy sources in line with our Repower EU priorities, where we plan to work on three different areas. The first one is to diversify our gas supplies in the European Union, to further deploy the domestic production of renewable energy, and also to intensify our energy savings. From the European Union side, we are very keen to secure adequate gas supplies to cover Europe's gas demand by stronger diversification, while also laying the foundations for long-term sustainable energy partnerships. The European Union is committed to ensure its energy partners' long-term, robust relationships for mutual benefit, including the development of renewable energy and hydrogen production for domestic development and international trade. We see our long-term energy partnership with Azerbaijan as an essential contribution to both our strategic energy resilience and also our green energy ambition. And we look forward working together with Azerbaijan and international partners to accelerate the structural transformation of our energy systems, strengthen our energy efficiency effort, productivity, and economic growth, reinforce our industrial basis, and put our economies on a path towards climate neutrality by 2050. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and looking forward to participating in this forum. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have a video message from Mr. Greg Hands, who's Minister of State for Business, Energy and Clean Growth of the United Kingdom.
Mr. President, Your Excellencies, thank you for the chance to address the Baku Energy Week. I also want to congratulate both nations on the 30-year anniversary of diplomatic relations between the UK and Azerbaijan. This event comes at an important time for European energy security and for our climate. We recognise the extraordinary circumstances we find ourselves in due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This new reality underscores the critical choices facing us on energy. Now more than ever, we must urgently work together to accelerate the shift to clean power generation and net zero economies. Today, Azerbaijan is a reliable and stable supplier of natural gas to Georgia, Turkey, and partners across Europe. The southern gas corridor that starts from Azerbaijan represents a significant achievement. The expansion of the southern gas corridor will support the diversification of gas supply to Europe. Natural gas will continue to play a critical role while we are phasing out coal and transitioning to clean energy. Last year at COP26, the UK presidency, we saw impressive commitments. We welcome the commitments that our partners, including the government of Azerbaijan, made at COP26 and look forward to further ambition in fighting climate change. The UK also welcomes Azerbaijan's commitment to the clean energy transition. One advantage, of course, of net zero is that it is consistent with energy security. Net zero also means prosperity. The increasing prices of oil and gas make the case for investing in clean energy even stronger. UK companies such as BP, which have been a close partner of Azerbaijan for the past 3 decades, adopted ambitious plans to reach net zero by 2050. Countries like Azerbaijan have a high potential to become net zero champions. The window of time we have left to keep 1.5 degrees in reach is closing fast. It is essential that we act now to deliver on the Glasgow Climate Pact signed last year. Every country must respond to the call to revisit and strengthen their own emission reduction targets. We must continue to work together on how the commitments will be achieved, to make good on our promises and ensure our commitments turn into reality. Mr. President, Your Excellencies, the UK is ready to work with all partners to accelerate a global clean energy transition that will ensure energy security and help to tackle climate change. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal part of the morning. I'd like to wish you every success in your participation in the Baku Energy Week, and hopefully we'll see many of you at the Baku Energy Forum, which opens tomorrow. Thank you for your attendance and attention.